All right, if you have knee pain, we're gonna tell you why, or probably a good reason why. It probably number one reason is gonna be because of coming from your hips or your feet. So we're gonna start with the hip. So most people, whether you are working out or not, especially if you're working out, this is very, very important. If you're not, you should, for this very reason. If you have weak glutes, they are not gonna be able to support your knee from the top. Now, we're gonna show you how that works. So Jake's gonna stand on one leg and pick his knee up. We're just gonna show you the function. This is your butt muscles here, your glutes. It rotates your leg around your body. Now, obviously, you don't get into this position very often throughout the day. If you do, that's cool, no judgment, whatever. But go ahead and stand back normal. So we know that these glutes, they rotate both legs around our body. But when we're in a standing position, what that does is it kind of just it levels out our hips for one, but it supports the inside part of our knee here. So let's do a healthy squat. So like if we were just to sit down on a chair, we would just sit down. Obviously, knees were nice and straight. We had nothing crazy going on. Our weight was balanced. We didn't have a bunch of force on the inside of the knee here. So go ahead and stand back up. Now, if these glutes are weak and they're unable to just do that static contraction just to hold us, whenever we sit down, so instead of getting this, we're gonna get a caving in. And what happens here is when we're right here, we get all this force. So gravity's coming straight down, no matter what. So if we look at the line of that force, how it intersects the knee, it's hitting it at an angle. And what that does is causes a shear force going into the knee, and we feel a lot of pain here on the inside of our knee. So that's just sitting down one time. We do that how many times throughout the day? Now, go ahead and stand back up. Whenever we're walking throughout the day, when our feet are caved in, I bet you probably don't have an arch in your foot. Doctors probably tell you have flat feet or whatever. It's not, it's just how you're born. Not true at all. When your glutes are weak, or everything kind of caves in. So we're rotated in this way instead of rotated outwards like we should be. And then we have this force going around our body, and it also flattens our feet right here. So whenever we're walking, we're getting this force this way as well. Just everyday action, just something as simple as walking is putting all this force in this way. So every single step is putting 60 to 70% of the force here versus here. You get an imbalance and it just grinds down on our joints. Our joints were not designed to move that way. Now, the other piece we talked about was your feet. So even if you do have strong glutes, so I want you to have no connection this time to the floor. No connection to the floor. This is how most people operate. Probably don't know what I'm talking about, connection to the floor. What is that? We're gonna show you. So if you rotate like we did with the leg up around, just standing, go ahead and rotate around. What's gonna happen? Our feet, we're gonna come out. So let's say you say, well, this guy said you're supposed to have strong glutes. We want our glutes turned on. Well, if we walk around one like that, obviously we're gonna have a lot of pain on the inside of our knee. But let's say we're in the gym, we're trying to correct this. We're trying to get stronger glutes. Go ahead and take a squat this way. See what's happening? The foot is this way, and then the knee, it's straight forward, but really in relation to the rest of the body, we have this caving in. Again, way more force. This might even be worse, I don't know, doing it this way. So what needs to happen? There's another prerequisite, obviously, to having the glutes turned on. Go ahead and straighten our feet out. Our toes have to be in the ground. That is the anchor. So if you saw, if I turn my glutes on, our feet are gonna turn out. So our toes have to be spread apart and dug into the ground. If you've watched our full posture video, you saw that was the first thing that we hit on. Now our shoes make this impossible. Shoes, modern day shoes, just aren't designed for this. This is why a lot of people's joint pain can come from wearing the wrong shoes. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna drive our feet, our toes into the ground, and then when we get that rotation, one, you're gonna see, we can't really tell here, but Jake is getting an arch on the inside of her foot. All of a sudden, wow, we have an arch again. We didn't need Dr. Scholl's to do that. So we have that arch in our foot. Now what's gonna happen now? We're anchored in this ground. When we rotate, our feet don't slide. We're stuck here in the ground. Now these glutes are turned on. Now when we go to sit down at our desk or we have a squat, we have this perfect balance here on our legs. So knee pain most commonly is going to come from your feet and weak glutes, usually a combination of both. If you have really strong glutes, probably focusing on your feet, it's gonna be one thing, but 99.99% of people have weak feet. Now you're not gonna be walking around all day like clawing at the ground, pulling with your feet, but just practice it, while you're at the gym, if you're standing, if you're a bank teller or a cashier, or any number of things where you stand up, perfect time just to stand up, grab a hold of the ground with your feet, rotate around your body. That is gonna help your knee pain out so much. Might make your feet a little bit sore, but when you're in the gym, when you're doing a squat, when you're doing a leg press, when you're doing a lunge, practicing making sure you have solid contact with the ground and good activation with your glutes, that is going to take away that knee pain. And obviously with good control, and if you're bouncing in the bottom squat, can you go ahead and stand up for me? Show us a squat whenever you're kind of bouncing, like most people they go down way too fast. We're going to do a squat and We bounce off the bottom. We're getting this like kind of rubber band effect. Go ahead and come down. Slingshots back up, and we have all this force. Now, Jake's lined up, he has a pretty good squat, but if we didn't, let the knees kind of cave in. Please don't hurt yourself. That is not a good position to be in. So control when you're training is also very, very important. No bouncing or anything. We got some popping in there. We're gonna work on your feet. All right, but that is it. If you have knee pain, glutes, feet, all day long, and then when you're in the gym, every single rep that you do, and that will more than likely take care of, or at least give you some relief and point you in the right direction in terms of how to fix your knee pain.